Hello everyone and welcome to the BJ Show's Mix and Footy Show. I'm your host Ben. Welcome aboard. On today's show, and welcome all to the BJ Show Mix and the Footy Show, and welcome you all the newies. And all the regulars, thank you so much for coming back once again. I have also started the Central Quiz with all your latest weekly quiz will be coming your way. So thank you for that. Make sure you do subscribe to that channel in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that bit as well. So what we are on for this episode, we are going to be sharing all to do with the latest of the Suncorp Super Netball. We got the grand final. We got the SANFL, South Australian National Football League, known for the SANFL, and as well the AFL. All the reviews, previews, predictions, and tips are coming your way. All right, sit back, relax, welcome aboard. Let's get on with the show. All right, first up is the Suncorp Super Netball. We're going to start off with wrapping up the grand final, Suncorp Super Netball Grand Final 2026. This is the 10th season with the sponsor Suncorp with the Super. It is the Australian Netball. We have the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Vinnies. So, how these two met to meet in the grand final. Now, the last couple of seasons, the Melbourne Vinnies have been very more successful than the LA Thunderbirds. The LA Thunderbirds has won the last 3 from 4. Well, this all happens. We're going to find out how these two met. Let's go to round 1 to 14 and we'll go from there. I'm only sharing the LA Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Vinnies game by game. Game 1 was the LA Thunderbirds and SW Swiss. That was a victory to the LA Thunderbirds with the Queensland Firebirds hosting the reigning premiers of Melbourne Vinnies. That went to Melbourne Vinnies. So first, both teams had the met of 1-1 with a win. Then the LA Thunderbirds, they will take on West Coast Fever, the runners-up, and they took that win as well with the Giants Netball hosting the reigning premiers Melbourne Vinnies. They take that win. So both teams, Adelaide and Melbourne, both having their first wins of the season. This is more the time to make this game a more advantage. The Melbourne Vinnies holding a 1 point against their rivals Melbourne Marrick. With the LA Thunderbirds heading to Queensland, taking the biggest win of the season. So we go to round 4. The other Thunderbirds now take on Melbourne Maricks. And tell me right now, they took a really good effort with the Melbourne Vinnies. Took a very nice win there. So it was first and second was always complete in this part of the season. NSW Swiss hosting the Melbourne Vinnies. And Melbourne Vinnies with the win. LA Thunderbirds as well over Giants Netball. The closest margin is this game. So I tell you right now, the best two teams are being challenged, especially the LA Thunderbirds this game. The next game we have is the biggest, the first out of 4 meetings. And it was the Melbourne Vinnies taking that one and taking the undefeated side 56-50. Very close all game at the John Cain Arena, and you're going to love it. So round 6 is complete. They meet halfway. Sunshine Coast Lightning talking on defeating a heavy loss 1 point. 1 goal overall. The LA Thunderbirds holding a big win here. And the Melbourne Vinnies head to West. They take a 6-goal victory, 44-50. So remains Melbourne Vinnies with a game clear. Then it was LA Thunderbirds were hosting Queensland Firebirds. We're traveling to Adelaide, taking a very solid victory. And it was again, Giants Netball taking the best two teams. Only 2 goals of difference. So 50-50 here. Round 9 action. It was the LA Thunderbirds heading to Perth to take a very big win. A very big win with the Melbourne Vinnies. Still that 1 game clear and staying undefeated up to round 9. This changed completely. So, LA Thunderbirds take on their Melbourne Maricks this time 4-goal victory there. With the Melbourne Vinnies, this changed completely the table. Round 10 rounds later, it just really completely changed for this team. And then round 11, the biggest win for the season, even the biggest margin for the whole tournament. The LA Thunderbirds head to Kent's Rosewell Arena in the Giants Army Netball, and it was 37-70. The Yellow Thunderbirds taking that big win there. That was Melbourne Vinnick taking against the NSW Swiss, the other Sydney team. Then it was a 10-goal victory for the Melbourne Vinnick against the Giants netball. Round 13 made up. It was their rivals, but it's the Melbourne Malik's taking a 9-goal victory there. The Yellow Thunderbirds 6-goal victory against the NSW Swiss for round 13. Round 14. This really changed complete West Coast Fever on the road to take on the reigning ponies, Melbourne Vinnick, and that was it. That was it. So, and it's the LA Thunderbirds too good over in Sunshine Coast Lightning. So, semi-finals changed completely. We had the interesting moment that we skipped around. If I can actually skip around, we cannot know what's actually happening. So I think we did miss I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. Round 11, round 12. We did. Where was round 12? I apologise. The other Thunderbirds 61-42, 1-all draw. We now slide into the semi-finals. They marched a big win here for finals. It was huge. So this means that the Melbourne Vinnick took that 11-goal victory. They stayed in Melbourne and they met in the grand final 61-40. The last time these two met was round 12. It was basically the same. So overall, they added 2 goals. They basically scored the same. If I got that correction, 61-42, grand final 61-40. So the under Thunderbirds, congratulations. Once again, claim their 3rd title in 4 seasons, which is their absolute record. So that is it for my netball, Suncorp Super Netball 2027. See you next year. Let's now focus on to the Aussie full halfway. If we got the South Australian National Football League, we got the women starting up with the host plus men's as well. We got some great football then, followed by the AFL. Stick around. Let's go there right now as we wrapped up the 2026 Suncorp Super Netball, Australian Netball. Alright, let's get to the SANFL right now. Alright, so we're here for the South Australian National Football League reviews. And we're going to do my predictions. So, we all have the actions from the SANFL. We look at the biggest stories and standout performances. Now, then we'll be switching over to the AFL, reviewing predictions, or the above. Boy, oh boy. I've got a bit more to share in the AFL, stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's drive into, we've done my intro, let's now share the Bobby showing my foot on the winners and all the disappointments and what's coming up next. So let's begin with the SANFL as we continue on this greatest show. Alright, I can't believe we're here. The SANFL round reviews. Round 13 with only 6 rounds to that September action. And I can't believe it is here already. So, I'm going to do a little bit of, you see my channel and seeing the episode between North Glenelg, I'm going to just do the small version of that on this. I'm going to share the SANFLW first up and then followed by, as I mentioned, the league. So first up we are on round 10 for the women's and we are basically 4 weeks in from round 11. So from now to round 14 I'm going to be doing my reviews, results and my predictions for the following round, like I've been doing for the AFL exactly the same round. Alright, let's get into straight from round 10 results. We have the SANFLW and the West Adelaide Bloods. This game's all down at Glenelg, so they are hosting these games. And the West Adelaide Bloods took the W for 13-37, backing back scoring. I'm sure they'll bounce back from that improvement. Defeated Sturt, 3-3-21 well down there. We had Woodville West Torrens versus North Adelaide Roosters. North Adelaide Roosters 8-5-3 defeated. 3-2-20, a nice victory there. South Adelaide Pandas and Central District Bulldogs. Central District Bulldogs 3-6-24 defeated 1-8-14. Final game. And the North Redlegs finish up a very healthy victory on the biggest margin of the round. So, North Redlegs 11-6-72 defeated 2-6-18. They are your round 10. Continue on to this run. We continue on the round 11. So, we do have a week off. So, Well, unfortunately, this will not happen. Next round, we'll share my previews and predictions for that show. We go to the Host Plus Men's SANFL SANFL Round 13. And let's go there now. Alright, we're now into the Men's SANFL League. Round 13 results are booked in. Then we'll go to round 14 straight after that. So, Central District Bulldogs were hosting the LA Crows Reserve. The LA Crows Reserve took a 50-point victory. The final score here, LA Crows Reserve, 16-10-106, defeated 8-8-56, with the LA Crows getting that win there. With Woodsville West Towns will take on North Adelaide Roosters. North Adelaide fortunately not getting the win, so it was Woodville West Towns Eagles 13-4-82 defeated 7-4-46 there. Well done to a 7-6 goal victory, 36-point victory to the Eagles. Now we come to should be in the part game of the round and 5 top 2 best games. Sturt Double Blues and West Adelaide Blood. Sturt Double Blues holding a 4-point victory at Thomas Farms Oval. Final score 10-14, 74, 10-10, 70. I can just say, same as the best game to last. Almost there. Port Adelaide, Magpies, and South Adelaide Panthers. This is not just a win. This is a bounce back. South Adelaide Panthers, 16-8-104, 6-6-42. This is not just a win, it's a huge statement to rest of the comp that South Adelaide Panthers back in action. So, I went to this game, Twilight Saturday football, unusual to have that time slot. And I'm proud, I have respect for Glenelg winning this game. I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. But in a respectful matter. Norwood versus Glenelg. And look, traditional spirit of this. This has to be the preview of the final series by far. 8-8-56 Norwood, 9-10-64. I've shared a bit more data. Look, Glenelg's poor start, Norwood started well, then vice versa, and final quarter bounced back. Then Norwood bounced back. Then Glenelg just found a 24 minutes in the final quarter, 4 minutes and a half by Simon Wynn without expectations. So, don't know what happened in that last quarter. Not a lot of goals kicked, but that's fine. It was a very unusual last quarter, but I think Glenelg got the win. So, well done to Glenelg. South Adelaide, Sturt Double Blues, Woodsville West Towns Eagles, and the LA Crows. We come to flying to round 14, and we also have 5 rounds remaining, like the WNB SANFL. So, as we pick during the second half of the season, we've got some pretty hard games to pick and have big wins. But I'm going to mix it up a little, just a little bit mix. This is the weekend of my birthday. Now, I wish the Crows or Norwood were playing on my birthday and I'll be very happy to go to. But I started with Central District Bulldogs and South Adelaide Panthers. Now, one team got flogged at one, the other team destroyed the other team, which I will be sharing later on. This is down Elizabeth, where Central District hosts this game. Back-to-back home games. Now, can Central District bounce back? I think they can. I think they will. But South Adelaide Panthers, I think they can do this. I backed them to win this game. Next game is second Saturday afternoon football. Woodville West Towns Eagles and hosting the Sturt Double Blues. Both having sensational big wins, with Woodsville over North Adelaide and Sturt breathing over a holding victory to their West Adelaide Bloods. Both were hosting these games. Sturt is the only one is on the road to Woodville. Who wants this more? Who needs this win? Both are in the top 5. We look at the ladder overall. Woodsville should win this game. Woodsville should win this game. I have a lot of confidence with this, but since Sturt, they're going to come out and they're going to take this win. The next game we're done is the Central District and South Adelaide. I'm going for South Adelaide. Sturt in a close game. Now, I've done 2 out of 3 Saturday schedules. We've got a double header on a Sunday. We go to North Adelaide and Port Adelaide Magpies. It's held on a Sunday afternoon football. Not much to celebrate with this game. And I'm going for North Adelaide in the store. This down at North Adelaide. So, we're done game number 1 was down Elizabeth. Well done at Barossa Park. I apologise, not at Elizabeth. We're down to Kearn Oval, Wizards Woodville host the games. We're down to Rovo Fitness Oval, where North Adelaide hosts games. Now we're going to Sharon Stadium, where Glenelg played. Both having big wins. One was holding on the edge, whereas the other one absolutely just taking control of the game. Adelaide Crows, I really want to back up. single and L, and I want to back up the LA Crows for that. I don't really mind if not really bowling big time, but this is a big one. Richmond Oval, Saturday afternoon football, 2:10 Adelaide time. Check the SANFL app or go on the SANFL now. Watch this game because West Adelaide almost beat the reigning premiers. They have done almost upset teams big time now. Last only two match. Unsure what round. Absolutely, I'm very unaware what round this was. So let me just share that information and I will report in just a moment. But while I'm getting that information, I will let you all know why I just found it was down at Port Lincoln, round 6, and it was the 9th of May. These two teams meet up again 2 months later, which is roughly 7 weeks later. So it's a few months later. We're having some split rounds as well in between. So that really adds a couple more weeks. Anyway, getting back to it, I really think 8 weeks later, these two met again. Can West Adelaide really learn their lesson? Oh, yes. Have they improved West Adelaide? Oh, yes. Can they beat Nord? Oh, yes. But I don't think. It'll be a closer one. I think Nord is going to bounce back that they really want to win this game. And we know that. How important this game for Nord to win this game. The Mighty Redlegs, the North Redlegs, should take this and do well with the win. Alright, my prediction tips on Sturt over Woodville, Nord over West Adelaide, with South Adelaide Panthers over the Central District Bulldogs. Adelaide Crows, or Glenelg doesn't matter, but Adelaide Crows have more talent. West North Adelaide to end it up. Alright, my done is men's sample, it's complete. It's now time to fly in some AFL traditional Australian Football League. Let's get to the AFL Round 18 right now. And I can't wait to share my Round 17 and then Round 18. We're in that mix. Alright, let's get that one now. Thursday night, 40 at HBA Stadium, Geelong at the Gallery. We've got the Geelong Cats and the Brisbane Lions. Last time these two met was, in fact, I will let you all know when that was. But in fact, last time these two was in Brisbane and it was back in round 10. So 8 weeks later, these two met exactly just under that time frame. And well, technically 7 weeks on my screen right there on the AFL app. So Geelong and Brisbane go head to head again. Then Brisbane, I've got to say right now, they got their revenge. They got revenge big time. Taking a big win. You go and win in Geelong, it's not easy in this modern era. And they took a very nice win here. Brisbane Lions defeated a 19 goals to 9. Very well accuracy, 123. Defeated 14-17. 107. So what I'm going to breaking down how this game worked, then we'll go into the team stacks, how it's all, who can improve that, and then I'll get into my Geelong and then Brisbane's best players. So the summary, as another word working yet. So there's a few players stand out, and I'll share that later down the track. But right now, Geelong's worst start in under Chris Scott in a very long time. And Chris Fagan's believing his crew now. Brisbane are back in it. They are fighting for everything to get what they needed to do to get the win. And when you get the win, it is not easy. So accuracy is very important in this game of today's era. And the biggest is you keep poor, it's back kicking for fab footy. So it was basically Geelong scoring more opportunity than Brisbane. Geelong should be winning this game, but the first quarter cost them the game. They kicked 6 goals to 1, and it was basically 6 behind in the first half, and amount of 3 minus in the second half. More goals kicked, 10 goals 3 for Brisbane to 7 goals 6. So overall, I've got to say, pretty ideal efforts. So going in sacks, I've got to say it's pretty well balanced. 384 disposals to 365 favour of Brisbane. We come inside 50s. Geelong had more times and still couldn't get the accuracy. We come to the hit-outs. Under 50 hit-outs, clearances, pretty even. From the total clearances, the standard clearances, stoppage clearances. The only thing favourable was Brisbane was the stoppages. And the biggest thing is when you have turnovers cost the game. Well, Brisbane had more turnovers, 11. But Geelong have more of the footy and cost them the match. Marking, they 36 points in front of Brisbane, but, and in contested marks is 8-all, and then it's a 50s, 1+ in front of Geelong. And then the most part of the game we love is tackling 50-50 each, 57-55 favour Geelong. So, and then tackling, so 52+ favour Lions, 16-14. So, I'm not really big part of doing this, and there's a few players I really, really want to think stone with Geelong, and yes, I'm making this short impossible, but Bailey Smith, Patrick Dangerfield, Mark Holmes, Tina Bunn from that, and maybe let's give it to who kicked a bag of goals. Give me a moment just for a minute, and maybe get it to Sean Mangar as well. Just name those players and looking into Brisbane's perspective. So, for Brisbane's point of view, on my screen, we got Will Ashcroft, we got, Lockie Neal, we got, Darcy Wilmot, Cam Raider. That's just 4 players I had on my screen if the device actually continued to work. And then Josh Dunkley. So, when you perform really well big times, the better team showed up and got the win. 22 points, 2 points, 1 point. It does not matter. You go to a hot environment like Geelong, you take, enjoy, and kick accuracy. That's how Brisbane won the game. Accuracy. And it was a good crowd as well. So, well done to Brisbane with the win. And Geelong heads up. The teams of both these two play with Geelong will go to the Western Sydney, will be taking on the Giants, and then the mighty Brisbane Lions will host the Essendon Bombers. Can't say that's a walk in the park, but don't take it lightly, that's all I say. So I'm going to now welcome into my player of the game for the Geelong Cats, and I'm going to give it to Patrick Dangerfield. This man has absolute, really dominates 6 tackles, 7 marks, 17 disposals, a bag of goals, which is 5 goals, 124 AFL fantasy. He also included 412 metres game. He also included, if I can get my centre bounce attendance 5 times, 1 clearances. Well done to Patrick Dangerfield from Geelong. For our mighty player of the game, it's a pretty tough decision, but you can't go past who had maybe the most tackles of all on the ground, which is Josh Dunkley. He had that 1 goal, 17 disposals, 3 marks, 14 tackles, 115 AFL fantasy. He played more defence than forwards, 53 defence, 47 in the forward half. Very busy. 6 score involvements, 2 score assists. He had Preston Actors 32, 211 metres gain, 105.50 time on ground. Very good effort. 3 clearances and 25 centre bounce attenders. Well done to Josh Dunkley from the Brisbane Lions and Patrick Dangerfield from the Geelong Cats. Well done, Brisbane Lions, again with the win. Okay, on to our next game. Friday night footy here on the BJ Show, Mix and Footy Show. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to let you all know, I do apologise for the absolute delayness. Alright, straight into it, round 17. We continue on Friday night footy between the Sydney Swans hosting the Western Bulldogs. Final score here 13-12, 90 defeated 7-13, 55. So, how this all started and how it all, my summary and my reviews and for Sydney just came out, kicking 5 goals, 8 goals to the Dogs, only 3 goals to the first half, and then another 4 goals for the Dogs in the second half to 5 goals as well. So, a very much even quarter half overall, 5 goals to 4 in the second half. So it was 50-50, but looking at the team stats, Sydney got more of the footy, disposal rate and all the above. Then inside 50s, all the above. Then you got hit outs. Best hitting team for the round so far. We'll share the other teams in a moment. 42-45 total clearances favour to the Bulldogs, Western Bulldogs. Centre clearances was favour to the Sydney Swans, and Vanessa stoppage clearances 8+ the Dogs. So possession by possession, you look at the tackles as well, 64-60, very much in that average, AFL average this year, and 20-4 inside tackles inside 50s in favour of Sydney Swans. So, much to really share and forward in how this game did work for them, and I just feel like the Swans look a bit better on paper. The Dogs just look like they want to win when they want to win. Bonus part, I think, for the Dogs is they didn't get Sydney to score 100 points, so that's a tick off for the box. But the teams of the Sydney Swans play, let's just say Sydney will travel and really get beat. Maybe one of the biggest tests for the season. Going to Perth, taking hosting, Fremantle hosting Sydney. And for the Western Bulldogs, they'll be hosting the West Coast Eagles. Should be a win there, but can't take out the Dogs from the Eagles. I think West Coast did everything in the books to say in the contest. They can't just go back to Marble and what they did against Carlton. So they'll learn some mistakes and they'll come out of the books. So I think West Coast, they really will take on the Dogs. I think the Dogs should win that one as well. So don't I have to do with the Friday night footy with last part of my thoughts is the Western Bulldogs and Sydney and the Western Bulldogs. And my player of the game for the Sydney Swans. Well, before we do that, I'm going to see how the players stand out. I know, very excited about that part. So, Brody Grundy, Charlie Cruz now, Isaac Hangy, Colour Mills and Chad Winger. For the Dogs, Bailey Dale, Ed Richards. We have, who else dominated in the blue and white? The Bont played pretty alright, quiet at the office. Matt Kennedy, and I think we've done and one more. Let's just give it to, pretty tough to pick players. Didn't perform overly great. Ray Sanders for that. So that was the Dogs. My player of the game for the Western Bulldogs is Bailey Dale. He included 32 disposals, 8 marks, 4 tackles, 1 goal, 138 able defence 13. More defences than the fourth half. So a 3 score involvements, 896 most almost player on the ground, and I'm going to give him that 2 clearances. Well done, Bailey Dale. 60 headouts, 17 disposals. I can't go through the mighty Sydney Swans. He dominated and he earned my player of the game. If I can find the man, it's Brody Grundy from the Sydney Swans. 17 disposals, I just mentioned, 2 marks, 5 tackles. Now he had that 1 point, that's okay, at 130. Fancy, but he had 60 hit-outs. Incredible. 4 score involvements. 177 metres game, that's okay. 21 centre bounce attendance with 6 clearances. 103 right contests. So, Brody Grundy, well done from Sydney. Bailey Dale, well done from the Western Bulldogs. Sydney, well done on the win. Alright, let's get to our next game. We have a double Friday night. We head to west of the stadium. The West Coast Eagles hosting the Adelaide Crows. Final scores here, very much for accuracy. 11-8-74 defeated, or the Adelaide Crows defeated West Coast. They're 15-9-99. How did this game? I'm going to straight into my thoughts. Adelaide came out of the blocks. They started well, exactly what they're going to do, but Adelaide were winning. They came and West Coast found a way in that third quarter. We'll get there in just a moment. But it was a goal fest, which is fantastic. 6-2, 38-1-39. Adelaide were winning 9 goals to 4 in the half-time bar. Then the second half came. West Coast kicked over in that second half. 7 goals, 3. Very well effort. They kicked more goals in the second half than the first. The Adelaide Crows hit 6 goals, 4. That close to West Coast winning a half. They won a quarter, basically on 4 goals apiece in the third quarter and 3 goals to 2 in the last quarter. West Coast won a quarter, which is, I think, they've been working on for a long, long time. Team sacks. Now, I have not seen any team sacks till now. Adelaide got the 40. I think it's pretty low for Adelaide to get under 400, but they haven't done that for a long time. Then we came to very unusual for Adelaide to get under 50 hit-outs in a game, and it's a learning lesson. Then we come to the tackles. West Coast came to tackle. Game of footy, that's fantastic. But Adelaide got 2+ on that bit. 73-71. Very, very well accuracy. Very even. And West Coast is a pretty damn good tackling team as well. So, how can I relate to Adelaide's win? It was a win. I'll take it. But there's lessons to learn. Adelaide will take on Gold Coast at the Adelaide Oval Saturday night football. And West Coast will head to Melbourne at Marble Stadium to take on the Western Bulldogs. And my player of the games, my top 5 from the West Coast Eagles is made more. I give West Coast more credit than Adelaide. Adelaide, yes, I'll give them credit with the W to go to Perth. That's a tick off the chart. Win's a win. West Coast pressure came to town. They took on Adelaide. They wanted it more. But for Adelaide, just wanted to get the win. And they deserve it. So, Bailey Williams, he's improving week in, week out. We have Jack Williams as well. We have Boo Allen. He played pretty well. That's my third best. We have Lim Diggin. Here was a mother performance. That's my 4th best out of my list. But my 5th, and I really like to give this player a best on ground, but fortunately just could not find it. But Tim Kelly, you're my 5th player, and well, overall, I'm actually going to give it to Liam Digon. 101 AFL fans and 24 disposals, 8 marks, 4 tackles, more defence than 4, that's alright. 4 scoring involvements, 1 goal assist, 556 metres game, very much the best one for the 11 at pressure, 83-47 on the field. Well done to Liam Digon from the West Coast Eagles. Adelaide's best, and it's pretty hard to pick. Jordan Dawson in the mix. Lockie McAndrew. Roy Laird. That's 3. Isaac Rankin played his role. And I'm going to give it to Jake Selingo. Now, the hardest choice. I could put Darcy Fogarty in the mix. But a player, he's worked his butt off in that midfield. But it has to be my ruckman. Could he be the best? But I'm actually going to do a little bit different. John Dawson's far being best on ground all over the field. So, is it Roy Laird? It's so hard to go past John Dawson as my player of the game. 27 disposals, 7 marks, 8 tackles, 1 goal. 126 AFL fantasy, and more defence than forward. They had to work more hard in that defence against the Eagles. 6 score involvements, 1 goal assist, 764 metres game, 24 centre bounce attenders, 6 clearances, 3 centre clearances, 3 stoppages in the clearances, 9 inside 50s, just 3 rebounds. So, a player that he's been through this year, what a player, what a star, what a legend. Well done to the LA Crows with the win. George Dawson, my player of the game for the LA Crows, and as well Liam Digon for their West Coast Eagles. That's my Friday night doubleheader. I do apologise for not intro that part. Alright, let's drive to our next game. We got some super football. All teams are returned back. I didn't like this one in the big round. Alright, let's go to Tasmania between the Hawthorn and the Melbourne Demons. Many know that Tasmania's very unusual for Hawthorn getting this win. Could they get this win? I tipped them to win this, and they'll clear more partly favourites to win this game. But Melbourne came out of the blocks, and they were winning, not by 2 goals, not by 1 point, but they were winning by 12 goals during the second quarter. Boy, the Melbourne Demons are back ever before. 1911, 125, defeated 14 goals, 690. Not bad kicking from the Hawks. Just couldn't get the accuracy, just get the pressure up in. Melbourne could not miss. Now, that's 5 minus a different from 5 goals. Margin 35 points. Margin could be a lot worse. How did this happen? 50-50 in disposal rates. Alright. Hit-outs. Hawthorn favour. Total clearances. 15 plus overall in front of the Demons. Melbourne Demons. Centre clearances. 1 plus Melbourne. Stoppages clearances. 14 plus. All favourite to the Melbourne Football Club. I think the Hawthorn that's really will learn this big time. They came Melbourne, but unfortunately the marking was 22 minus 111 to 89. That's okay. Well, Hawthorn is a very good marking team. They've got some great players and talent there. spectacularly. Melbourne are back with their ball pressure. They earn it. I have a bit of concern with with Hawthorn with that performance. And these two meets, hopefully not in finals, how amazing that is. But back at the MCG for the Hawks, they'll tackle Carlton. I think Hawthorn will bounce back from that loss. Carlton will find a way to get the W as well for the Melbourne Demons. So, they take on Richmond Tigers at the MCG. Now, Richmond almost beating Carlton. I think Melbourne can have more strength and confidence than ever think before. Once again, well done to Melbourne. The very first team in a long time being Hawthorn in Tasmania. Get your mind together, Hawthorn. I know you'll bounce back. My players of games. My best players for Hawthorn. Let's give it to Josh Wink, Blake Hardwick. We got Mon Bon Chalk. That's my third best. Harry Morrison, my fourth best. And Lloyd Mink, the ruckman. But there's not a lot to really think about. I'm going to give it to Josh Warren. 25 disposals, 2 goals with 7 marks from 4 tackles, 110 84 offensively. Included 7 score involvements. With 2 goals, 6, 351 metres, gain 18, centre bounce attenders, 5 clearances. He had 3 centre clearances, 2 stoppage clearances, and as well 4 inside 50s from 1 from rebound 50. Well done from Josh Rowan for the Hawthorn. Melbourne's best. There's so much to go through. Jacob Van Rolling. We have Christian Pickett. We have Max Gorn. We got Bailey French. We got Jack Steele. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players are booked in. Shouldn't 6, but I will calculate that in just a minute. Do apologise that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done my 5 players. Now, it's a hard day at the office. When you perform, you're going to perform really well. And maybe you didn't get that goal, that big moment. But when you really want to tackle hard in Tasmania, that's a bonus. You go into hit-outs. You get 5 goals. Jacob Van Rooven is your my player of the game. 24 disposal, 8 marks, 2 tackles, 5 goals, 1 behind, 131 AFL fans at T. We include 10 score involvements, 1 goal assist, 83 accuracy, 106, 19 on ground, 11 accuracy percent on pressure act. We have 480 metres a game. We had 6 centre bounce attenders, including 5 hitter, 4 clearances. There was 17 from ruck contest from 5. Very good effort. 4 inside 50s. Well done to Jacob Van Roy. You're my player of the game. Well done. Turns well from the Hawks. Josh Warren, you're my player of the game. Melbourne Demons, well done on the player of the game. It's now time to shade a second Super Saturday football as we go to the Great Western Sydney, hosting the Fremantle Dockers. This was in Canberra at the Common Group Oval in Monaco. Alright, let's get them right now. What a game to share there. Okie dokie. Now I mentioned in my intro, we're heading to Canberra. We have the GWS Giants, and they're taking on the best of the best up to now, the Fremantle Dockers. Now, if you're not paying attention, the Fremantle Dockers have won too many games. So, yes, they are sitting very, very nicely on the AFL ladder as we speak, with standing off 2 losses. Now, we'll share that in just a moment. Very, very impressive performance they have come out of the blocks and set their season off with a very good time. The only team they have lost is the only round. This was a very good lesson at home, away against Geelong, and now against the GWS Giants. We'll share that score right now as we come to the second Super Saturday afternoon football. We're at Super 16-13, 109 defeated 13-10, 88. So margin was 21 points. Biggest loss for the season for the Dockers. Giants knew how good the Dockers are going to come into this game. And I got to say right now, it was basically even It was 4-3 and a matter. 3 goals apart. Very, very much even up the court, and the Fremantle just couldn't. They could not find the way to win this game. Keen Stacks, and who I was sharing that who's stand up in just a moment. Disposal Stacks favour the Giants. The head-outs favour to the Dockers, 22 plus there. Marking 12 plus, 86 to 74. That's pretty interesting moment there. And we have the most important of the game, tackles, 58-67, 3 until 9 plus. So you can really, I feel like Fremantle needed this loss. You learn from a lot, and after that sensational, wherever the wins they got in a row, and that going to the second loss I said just before, proved that Fremantle will bounce back. I backed them to beat Sydney, and they do, and then they host Sydney Fremantle on Thursday night footy. Stay tuned for my predictions and all that. And the mighty GWS Giants, after that massive win, could they continue on their form, hosting the Geelong Cats? Not favourites for the Dockers now, not favoured for the Cats. It's the 50-50 game. My player of the game for this match, for the Giants, I'm going to give you my top 5. And I start with the Giants. Toby Green, we have Connor Iding, we have Jake Stringer, Clung Oliver, and Finn Cunningham. Now, let's take a big moment. It's pretty hard to pick. Really, should I go for Jack Stringer? Like 7 goals. Incredible. And guess what? I don't like doing this, but I'm going to give it to Toby Green. You got to balance it up. 4 tackles, 5 marks, 26 disposals, 3 goals, 3 minus, 123 AFL Fantasy, 12 score involvement, 1 goal assist, 6 80 metres game, centre bounce attenders, 5 clearances, 4 of them are stoppages, and 1 centre clearances, with the incredible 1 rebound 50, 7 times inside 50. Well done to Toby Green. We come to the Fremantle Dockers. Now, who dominate? Who really showed up and really want to give them all? We have Kyle Wonga. We got Cullen Strone, Andrew Bradshaw, Luke Jackson, and Shane Bolton. The player of the game for this match is Andrew Bradshaw. 22 disposals, 5 marks, 8 tackles. Now, it's alright, no goals, but the 184 fantasy, choose that 22 disposals. 75% defensive, 25 forward. Then include 3 score involvements, 444 metres game, 444, 27 pressed acts, 27 from bench attenders, 3 clearances, 2 of them are stoppages and centres 1 time. He also include 5 inside 50s, 1 tackle inside 50, and as well 1 rebound. Well known to Andrew Bradshaw and the Fremantle Dockers, as well Toby Green Giants. Alright, my thoughts and done and dusted. We've done 1, 2, 3, my 5th game's complete. We go now on to the People's First Day on the Gold Coast, as Gold Coast hosts the Collingwood Magpies. My fave, this is the game of the round. Let's go there right now. You can't say these games are always very hard to choose, and I feel like Gold Coast bounced back from a 6 points defeated. They host Collingwood, they're struggling Collingwood Magpies, in my opinion. How can these two met all these many months later? Final score, Gold Coast, 15 goals 8, 98. Collingwood, 15-14, 100. And 4. That's how close this game was. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I did not watch any of these games except the close game in big ways. But I'm gonna give it credit to Gold Coast. They have struggled week in, week out. Collingwood came out, kicked 4 goals in the first 2 quarters, making 8 goals. But as for our Gold Coast, 4 goals to 3, and the margin was only 1 point. Then, out of nowhere, I think it was 7 points, apologise. Then out of nowhere, 4 goals each. Well, arguably exactly the same margin to make it a 6 point. 6 points overall to the Collingwood Magpies. 10 stacks. Well, disposal rate from 409 Gold Coast, 354. Head out 21 plus in favour of the Gold Coast Suns. 3 plus advance Collingwood in overall total clearances. 2 plus centre clearances for the Collingwood and as well 1. So very, very even. Seriously, like so close. But 3 overall in front of Collingwood. But as well, I'm going to be sharing the marking. Gold Coast are pretty strong. One of the best marking team in the competition. But marks in the 50s, 10 plus in front of Collingwood. So, and then tackles, 32 plus. That's how Collingwood won the game. Players of the game, it's making it nice and short. Now, I do apologise about pronouncing these names. Zag U.W. Lands is my player of the game from the Gold Coast Suns. 32 disposals, 16 marks, 1 tackle, 1 goal, 146 AFL fantasy. 82% is defensive, 18% forward half. 2 scoring involvements, 16 marks. We just mentioned 553 metres game with a 12 acts of 103.20 game time. But that was really rebounds 5 times. So to go and kick a goal, it's the most important crucial moments you can give. Collingwood's best. You can't go past. Now, I do apologise giving you my Gold Coast player, but there was John Nobley, Todd Miller, that was my third player. We had the Buhai Uland was my 4th Gold Coast player, and I'll give it to McAndrew, but that's okay. We gave my best player, but for Collingwood point of view, I'm going to pretty hard to pick. We got the Nick Dacos, Tim Memory, we got Edward Allen, that's my 3rd best. I'll give it a Nick Long into my 4th best, and really not much than Brian Mullard as my 5th best, but it's pretty hard to go past. You tackle well, you dominate. I'm going to give this player, it's Nick Long from Collingwood. 18 disposals, 3 marks, 8 tackles, 82 AFL fantasy, 1 behind. Then it was 50-50 more defence, plus a -10 in the forward, so 55 defence and 45 forward. We also include scoring involvements, 1 goal assists, 197 AFL fantasy, 32 press acts. 93.55 time on ground. We had 17 bands attenders, 4 clearances, 2 of them are centre, 2 of them are stoppages as well. We're overall in inside 50s 2 times, 1 rebound, 1 tackle inside 50. So well done to Collingwood with the Nick Long from Collingwood. Well done to the Gold Coast defender, Zay Ulan, to play my player of the game. And again, well done Collingwood with the win. Trying to face our almost upset of the round, Carlton. Oh, we're holding breath there. Dale taking on their rival Richmond. Let's go back to Melbourne. We're at the MCG. Well, let's just say this team is going to be interesting. Richmond Carlton coming up on Saturday night footy. Let's go there right now. Saturday night footy, the MCG, the only game of the round. We got the improved Carlton Blues take on the part of the rebuilding season for the Richmond Tigers. Richmond and Carlton up next. Big, good crowd, healthy crowd, not poor crowd for Richmond home game. And they took on the Carlton Blues, improved them up for the grab. Final score 10-12, 72, 10-14, 74. Very similar margin as the Blues took back-to-back wins this season. Now, how can this happen? All come down to this last little moment. Richmond came out of the blocks, came 5 goals to 2. 1 goal, 2-5, changed over to the favour of the Blues. Then it was 1 goal, 2-2. Then it was 3 goals to 1. So it was a very, very undisciplined game for the Tigers who absolutely won this game and take all the revenge and take a very important win right here on the BJ Show Mix and Sport Footy Show. So how can I relate to these two sides? Is Carlton got ability under Josh Fraser to play finals? That's going to be the interesting role. I believe it's going to be a sneak in, but no guarantees. They have come out of the block. Put Carlton in 7 or 8 games in a row. That is unexpected. Now, I tip Carlton they were favourites to win this game, and they took the win. Now, the 10 stacks, and I'm going to make this nice and short, pretty even, favour the Blues there. We come into the hit-out. Very even. The worst two teams in hit-outs. Clearances 43-31 favour the Blues. Centre clearances as well, plus 5 plus 13-8, as well as 7 plus stoppage clearances and fun from Richmond. So Richmond really had the better of the footy. The marking Blues are pretty impressive as that. 17-8 inside 50 marks favour the Blues, and contested possession mark 13-8 favour of the Tigers. So to continue on, and before I get to my players, look, tackles are pretty even, right? And as well, the inside 50, very low rated score. So how important that Richmond wanted to win this game, how important that Richmond needed to win. And I have very much confidence for the mighty Richmond Tigers with to win this game. They had more of the footy, they put the pressure, and this one of the best games for the season so far since they met in round one. Not opening round, that's round one. So that's my thoughts for this game, and ended up to a 2-point victory in favour of the Blues. Richmond's best, Toby Nurkofis. We have Noah Bartlett. We have Tim Turetto. We got Seth Campbell. That is my fourth best player, and the most important player just to keep it on the right path. Is pretty hard to pick a player that, we got one, we got two. I'm going to give it to this man, Ryan Van Sheldon. They're my five players, I apologise. Richmond's best, look, at domination, and you don't get enough players tackle well, but they're also marking, they get the ball really well, but kick goals, mate. You got to kick goals. So I'm actually going to give it to Noah Bartlett. 15 disposals, 7 marks, 3 tackles, 2 goals and 2 behind, 96 AFL Fantasy. He also scored 8 scoring involvements, 1 goal assist, 348 metres game with 86 minutes 22. 3 clearances, 6 times of that is centre bounce attenders. 70 was in ruck contest from 6 hit-outs. He all included, for those 3 clearances, he included 1 centre clearances and 2 stoppages. So Richmond are on the right pathway. Can they just bring that pressure and make it really challenging? They look pretty good in the 2 seasons ahead to look a bit more better side. For Carlton, a messy win is a good win. We have George Haylett, Brody Kent are my both top teams. Fraser Evans is my third best for this game. We have a pretty few quiet players didn't really stand out. So Patrick Cripps is definitely in the mix to be a player of the game. So, and I'm going to give it to Lars Jacob Smith as well. My player of the game for this is very, very much control. George Haylett, 26 disposals, 4 marks, 9 tackles, 2 goals straight, 114 A4 fantasy, 58% is defensive, 42 in the forward half, included 5 scoring involvements. So in his game stats of 235, meets game with a 20% of act. Pretty good effort. 4 clearances, 1 centre, and 3 of them are stoppages. He also includes 18 centre bounce attenders. Well done to George Haylett from the Carlton Blues, and with the win. And from the mighty Tigers, I gave it to a player that Noah Bartlett from the Tigers. So the teams and games I have not yet to share was Gold Coast and Collingwood. I do apologise. So the Gold Coast Suns will take on Adelaide, will travel to the Adelaide Cruise Land hot environment Saturday night. The next team is Collingwood, will take on a Friday night. What a game that will be, and they'll take on North Melbourne at Marble Stadium. The next 2 teams, we have the mighty Tigers and the Blue Richmond. How much a challenge is a good challenge. MCG, the Melbourne Demons, and the Carlton Blues. You can't go past those baggy Blues. They take on the MCG against the Hawks. So all the best for that. We now go to our last 2 games for the round. We're still in Melbourne at Marble Stadium for the third out of 2, the last 2 games. We've got Essendon and St Kilda, followed by Port Adelaide, North Melbourne. Let's go now to that first out of 2 games, which is the Essendon and St Kilda right now. Alright, so we're almost down. Hope you are enjoying it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Essendon St Kilda first up, then Port Adelaide, North Melbourne to finish up my predictions and reviews and fortunately, etc. Now, Essendon, all the votes I've taken the number one draft pick, we all know, but they've got to find an effort to stay in efforts. Final score here is 7-8-50 to 7-15, 170. 67-point victory in front of the Saints. Who knows what can happen in a game of football? Footy is a strange sport. Essendon need to get their team together or they are more than ever in trouble. They've been struggling for years. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got mates who go for this club. And I tell you right now, it is not a good sign. They get killed every week and they knew. Supporters need to come and still support their club. It is very much important. But I will share this game. 5 goals to 2 in the first quarter. 9 goals to 1. Game over. They gave up. I don't know what happened there. 1 goal 2 to 1 goal 2. Same margin. Nothing different. 3 goals apiece. But Essendon fight hard in that final quarter. They actually kicked more than 2 goals for the quarter, which we have not seen in a long time, especially against St Kilda. We know that Essendon is struggling. All the AFL knows. But there is an issue with the football club for many, many years. My 10 sacks for this game will get to my player of the game. 100 plus with disposals, so I don't have to worry about that. Hitouts. Essendon won the hitouts. Look at the clearances. They're the worst clearances team, Essendon. And boy, fortunately, when you win by 6-7 points and you don't really win the footy, it's not great. But St Kilda won in tackles. They brought the pressure. But we know that St Kilda are in the world of building. They feel like when they want to win. And that was a good win. It was a healthy win, which I will share that Thursday night football, which will be St Kilda over Geelong, which will be a big test for St Kilda. They'll have confidence, but how much confidence is a win? The next team we will have on our schedule is Essendon. We know that this is going to be no matter joke. Has Essendon want to choose to win this game? They're going to have to find a fierce to take on the Rain Premiers. It's not going to be easy. And they know. Still go and support your club. But that's so important. Now my thoughts are done. Time to share my player of the game. And we'll wrap up with the final game. My first and only needs, get Essendon out of the way. Zach Merritt. You're my first out of Zach Dersma. Here are my second one. Jay Caldwell. Here are my third best. We got Dyson Snap. You're my fourth best. And there's not a lot of players really stood up for this team. And I'm going to give it to 1, 2, 3, 4. The Assessment Awards. Pretty hard to pick. And I'm going to give it to Nat Candy as well. So that's my player of the game. 3 goals, 71 AFL fantasy, 5 marks, no tackles, 12 disposals, all about the forward, be a little bit disposal in defence, with 43 accuracy in front of goal. We've got 6 score involvement. We got, like I mentioned, 6 score involvements with 154 AFL fantasy, 108.28 game time, and that's it. No effort, but really the best Essendon's best player. We got the only most important St Kilda's best. There's so much to celebrate this end. National ranking of Miller. We got Bradley Hill. We got Matt Hall. We got Bryson Marshall, if I got that correct. Brian Marshall, if I can say. So I got the first 4 on my list. Now, who really wants to get that 5th best? We know who's going to be the best from the best. And it's actually going to be a very hard choice to pick because there's a lot of players dominate and can contribute to the list. So I'm going to give it to the last player of my list is Shugo Graf Carl, if I've got that correct. Hopefully you're good. But there's some hard players now. Someone did not get a tackle, but all 14 marks. 9 from 9. 9 marks, 9 tackles, 1.2. And that's the one. You are Max Hall. You're my player of the game. 33 disposals, 9 marks, 9 tackles, 152 AFL fantasy. We have 1.2 in goals. 53% in defensive. 47% forward half. So we come down on my screen. We have 11 score involvements. 500 exactly meters gained, 28%. Very, very good effort. 96-14 time on ground. 21 over centre bounce attenders. 5 clearances. 2 of them are clearances. centre, stoppages, clearances 3 times, 6 inside 50s, 1 tackle inside 50, so, and 1 percentage. That really changed a big way. So well done to the Saints with the win. We got Max Hall as my Saints best, and as well, if I can remember, Nat Crandy with my player of the game. It's now time to share the final game with the Adelaide Oval. We've got Port Adelaide hosting North Melbourne. Let's go there right now. Finally, we made it to the final game, and we got Port Adelaide hosting the North Melbourne Football Club, the Roos. Final score here, pretty good effort for North Melbourne. 10-13-73, defeated 7-10-52. Port Adelaide, 21. That's 21 points of victory there. So how will this happen and make it all nice and smooth? Pretty even, but Port Adelaide came out of the blocks in that second quarter, kicking 4 goals to 1, 5 goals to 2. Then it happened. 3 goals for to 1 point to make it a 11-point victory. So, how important this game is for North Melbourne, winning more the footy. Hit-outs, Port Adelaide 12 plus. Clearances, favour Port Adelaide, set stoppages, so pretty even on that. We come to the marking, 93, 94, 50, 50 in marking. That is an impressive performance from Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. And the most important tackling, 54-49 overall with 8 to 7 tackles inside 50s. So it's a very, very good effort there. But how important Port Adelaide? They have snuck themselves back into the season. Their season is now live after that big win. But like I said, Port Adelaide will be travelling. They'll be on the road this time, and they'll be taking on St Kilda. The other team, North Melbourne, Collingwood. Never know what North Melbourne will bring, for round 18. So there you're my. So to wrap it up, I'm going to just make it nice and smooth. Darcy Byrne-Jones, Ollie Rhines, Jason Horn-Francis, Zach Butters, and let's give it to Jordan Switch. Now, it's a very hard choice, but I can't go past Darcy Byrne-Jones. 109 AFL fantasy, 24 disposals, 8 marks, 5 tackles. We have 72% in the defensive for 28 in the forward half. 6 score involvements, 21% of pressure act, 383 metres gained with a 90-24, with a 1 clearances from that is the stoppages. And include 3 inside 50s, 4 rebounds. That is a very, very important. And 2 times he kicked on, kick in, play on is 2 times. So well done to Darcy Byrne-Jones, North Melbourne's best. And like I said, it is a very hard choice. Harry Cecily to clear best for the North Melbourne. We have Kobe McRacker is my second. Luke Davis Uconi. Luke Parker is my 4th. And I'm going to give it pretty much getting over and done with the, if I can only say, I'm going to say Luke McDonald, and I can't go past Harry Cecily. Really dominated. 40 disposals, 7 marks, 9 tackles, 154 aim for fantasy. 60% is defensive forward, 10% is forward half. Here, 5 scoring involvements of 499 metres, gained 107.48 on the time on ground, 25% presses act, incredible. 6 clearances, 5 of them are stoppages, centre clearances 1 time, 13 centre bounce attendance in correct ball, and most important, 4 are rebounds, 5 are inside 50s. Well done to Port Adelaide was the win. Harry Cecily with North Melbourne, Darcy Jones, Port Adelaide. That's it. Time to get straight into my reviews for round 18. Let's go there right now. Alright, we're done. I can't believe round 18. Thoughts and predictions and tips. Thursday night, 43 and joint Sydney. Nothing's best. Having the best 2 teams go head to head at the same on the Thursday night footy. I'm going for Queensland Dockers in a close one. Collingwood and North Melbourne go head to head next. How important is to met? It's how important who's going to win it. I think Collingwood will bounce back from that. Oh, well, a big win on the Gold Coast. They'll bounce and they'll take care of North Melbourne. Saturday afternoon, very, very, very hard to pick. With Port Adelaide in very good form, Essendon just walk in the park with a victory over Essendon. This is at Marble Stadium. I can't go past St Kilda. St Kilda with the win there. The Giants and the Cats at ENGIE Stadium with Giants back in home territory. Who should win? Who should win this match? And I am backing the Mighty Cats. They should win this game. They should take care of the Giants in a very good game here. Saturday night, we have a double header. MCG, Carlton, Hawthorn all the way. But I expect Carlton will really bring the heat. Adelaide Gold Coast. Gold Coast are just unsure where they are. And they just got a 6-point defeat, the lowest margin in a long time. But Adelaide also cruising to just a nice win over West Coast in Perth. Back home, front of the prior South. But really, you never know. Gold Coast could actually come over to Adelaide and take a very nice win here. I think Adelaide should win this. Adelaide should really take care of Gold Coast in a very tight game. Sunday football. Now, I'm going to let you know someone's birthday here on the BJ show. So thank you for all your support and I really appreciate it. So sorry the time I finish this will be delayed. I absolutely apologise with other commitments around behind the scenes of what I do. So Western Bulldogs and West Coast Eagles we are nets up. And these two met not that long ago, but West Coast are finding ways to improve and they are showing it, but on the road it's not great. Western Bulldogs, a massive challenge against the mighty Swans. They take a nice break. I'm hoping to see the Dogs take care of this game. Melbourne and Richmond now. 2 points separate from the Richmond and the Blues. Melbourne are not a walk in the park, a very heavy victory over the Hawks. MCG, I have really expectations that Melbourne should take care of Richmond. Right now, Richmond and Essendon, I can't say too much. I got one word. Richmond to take care of Essendon very comfortably. 10 goals and plus. If Essendon bring the pressure, Richmond will test it. So there are my predictions. We have the 300 Dockers in a close one. Collingwood in a good game there. Close one of them, the Saints. I'm going to tip them over Port Adelaide. The Cats in the Giant. Pretty hard pick, but same with the mighty Cats. Hawks in a tight one over the Blues. Adelaide should take care of nice win. That's a close, nice win over. And I tip Adelaide there. The Dog really should take care of West Coast, but you never know what can happen there. Melbourne and the Richmond Tigers, a Melbourne victory there, and Brisbane, no answer for that. So there are my predictions, and fair and doubt, that is it. Thank you so much. And yeah,